We all this time always talk about the public option. I haven't heard much about a single payer plan. And we could use something like either like Medicare for all, because most of us can't even afford even a minimal payment for health insurance. And we're talking about reforming the industry, when really what we need is them to compete with the industry or cover the people who can't afford private insurance. And I'm just wondering, it seems like most of the people in this country would prefer a single payer type or a Medicare type health plan. And it seems that the special interest groups, the industry itself, seems to have more clout than something like 70% of the American population. Is there a reason why these groups have more power than the American people? Because, we're government of the people, by the people, for them. What happened to that?
I understand the question. I'm not sure that that's the reason. First of all, I think that the argument for a single-payer system is a very legitimate one for somebody to want to make. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making that argument. But there's, as we've seen recently around the country, people are very anxious about what's going to happen to their health care. And that anxiety is something that is a very legitimate concern, particularly for government to listen to. And what we heard from every single one of the presidential candidates when they were out running, at least all the major ones, John McCain, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, was the same thing, and you can practically recite it with me. If you like the coverage you have, you can keep it. See, we all heard it so often, we all remember. But once that determination is made, then that means that the employer-based system has to continue to keep that promise. And so with that debate, I think that's where the single-payer option went off the sort of political main avenue, I guess you'd call it.
Like I said, most people I talk to, the polls I read, it seems the majority likes the idea of single payer.
No. 65%.
Should you want the other, Jack?
Yeah, just let me add one point to Shelley's point. The central point we're trying to make is that, as he said, if you like your health care, you compete. So that means that we're going to, in fact, encourage private health insurance to come in, but they're going to have to reform their operations. They have to drop pre-existing conditions. And in addition, on this exchange, if you are low income, and actually it goes up those families to cover a substantial number of families, there will be subsidies, probably through tax credit, so that it'll be affordable. The whole point is to make it accessible, that you can choose. It won't be dictated. You can choose among the different plans, and that you can use your subsidy for whatever plan you want. That, I think, having been through the 93 and 94 debate about single payer, is going to be a system that will work, and a system, I think, that supports the views of not just the presidential candidates, but most people.
All right, we'll take a question now from the other room.
Good evening. My name is Lindsay LaChance, and I shared my story on Senator Whitehouse's website, and I received a letter back. Thank you very much for that. Here's my question. My situation is I am 30, college educated, unemployed, uninsured, and diabetic. I applied for private health insurance and was willing to pay myself, however, I was denied. How would this bill ensure that me and many others in this situation will be covered with affordable health insurance when the private ones can't do it?
It will do it in two ways, Lindsay. One is that the ability of the insurance companies to deny coverage to you based on the pre-existing condition of your diabetes will be removed, so that they can no longer use that as an excuse for denying coverage. The second is that the what we call the gateway, the exchange, will require insurers to come to the gateway and make essentially their best offer across the board for everyone. So if you're an individual, if you're not employed and you can't get onto an employer's policy, as I think everybody here knows who's tried to pay for it, single payer is about the most expensive coverage you can find. I mean, it costs an absolute fortune. And you pay less if you work for a small business that has a little bit of negotiating leverage, and you pay even less if you work for a big business that has more negotiating leverage. That now becomes a flat, transparent market where, in the same way that if you worked for a big company and different insurers came and offered their proposals to you through the HR department of your company, you would be able to go to the exchange and say, okay, here are the different coverages, here's what they cost, here's what I would like. You pick whichever one it is, and then as Jack pointed out, whatever subsidy you're entitled to, and if you're up to, I think, 400% of poverty, you may be eligible for some subsidy, then you get to choose which insurer you want to apply that subsidy to. So, first of all, by getting rid of the pre-existing condition restriction on your coverage, and second of all, by taking away the disadvantage that you